Max Danger, the first review of 2025, and I thought, why not start doing a little playlist of reviews of small, low-budget horror films that never made into theatrical but got put on Shudder or whatever, Shudder. Just bear with us here. But I thought, watch some low budget films which are terrible and give them a review and give my opinion on them. Because if you don't remember, I used to do a few reviews on that years back when I first started doing reviews on films like the Aquaslash. One thing I didn't know about that video in particular, I did, reached almost like 1,000 views and 50 likes. And I did not see that until, obviously, the whole thing about like deleting all the content and all that to move on for doing what I love doing, and that's solo now. And again, I've took, that into consideration, and that is now see if you enjoy this other style of content where I'm still experimenting with different things. So I'm still gonna review like the up-to-date movies and everything. I've still got a few things to catch up on. I know I've been a bit quiet for a few weeks, and that's just getting back to routine and stuff and try and fill in a bit of time to do a bit of YouTube so I can put out more content for yous, because I know yous have been impatient or something since the last time I heard. So here I am, out in the flesh. So today's review is none other than Getaway or something like that, which was a very odd movie I thought I'd watch. It was like on the Fire Stick. I thought, why not just watch it? It was like an hour and 36 minutes, and normally, because it's a horror comedy, and basically I would say spoiler here, because when it's a low budget movie, I can just spoil the most of it anyway, because I obviously don't give enough I don't care in terms of like if a movie goes on like a certain app or something, then I'm just gonna go spoiler. But if it's like things in theaters and stuff, I wouldn't do that, because then I think you have seen a bit of a pattern with the videos from last year where I was doing spoiler and non-spoiler, and I've kind of want to take a step back doing spoilers and try and just have my opinion in a different way and at a different light. And this is what I'm going to do here. So in terms of Getaway, the film opens up, and like obviously the most mediocre thing, a family wants to go on vacation, you got Nick Frost in it, and he's a funny actor, as we all know, and the whole film makes you want to root for the family, because there's a lot of tension in it, because in the first few minutes, as soon as like they are about to go to this island, they go on this boat, there's already a guy that's warning them. And the whole problem with the film, I already knew straight away, was probably like a bit of like the acting a bit. Like, don't get me wrong, the acting was alright. It's like not everything was perfect. Like there was like some people like like the mouth syncing with the lines and stuff, and the audio as well, and felt a little off. But other than that, it was still watchable. But however, they go into this cafe and this and that, shenanigans happen. A guy just grabs Nick Frost by the arm, says like, you should not be here, and all that. Because obviously the film's trying to set up that there's going to be something bad that's going to happen. So obviously the whole family goes on to the island, and then they're getting mistreated by all the people there and stuff. to realize it's a giant, like, ritual type of thing in the film. And the way they do a bit of, like, story in it, I thought it was okay. Like, again, I am a huge sucker for storytelling. And this one I tried to had a good think here. And it was really hard to try and pinpoint what the whole plot was. Because the first half, and I mean majority of this movie, was focused and centered on this family, whilst there's like a subplot where this older woman's trying to start this once-a-year tradition thing, but they never got onto that properly for the finale of it. But like the Fort family goes through a lot of stuff, and throughout majority of the film, and then out of the blue, like, there's this weird character. They have this weird character development of this weird guy in the movie. And, like, it was quite uneasy, but again, it's part of, like, this guy's character in the film, right? And has a thing for one of the family's daughters and stuff. They don't know it. She doesn't know it. But she is aware in the beginning when they first meet that there's something up with this guy, obviously. But obviously doesn't know the intention. But it goes in a weird twist. So you're rooting for the family, like, they're starting to plan something on them and all that. Like, they're trying to scare them away at first by showing, like, a unalived raccoon or something, I don't know. But it gets very, very weird with the story. Because next thing you know, the family are like spies or it at one point. And that's where I think the film really steps its bar, but it doesn't at the same time. Because you're rooting for this family and then you realise, like, they're actually terrible people. And, like, so then you end up rooting for the bad people. So it's kind of like you had this whole build-up with Nick Frost, the wife, and the son and daughter. And then you have to find out they're like, it's a whole massacre. Like, they're calling it massacre and everything. But, like, it's not. It's like they was sent there. Like there was no indication, like, that he knew where they were going or anything. But it was just more like this Airbnb that they wanted to go to. But it was just really odd as well, in terms with, like, the older woman trying to get away while they're trying to go after her. But the weird thing is that I thought she was going to survive, right? Because the last quarter of the film really makes you want her to stay alive and eventually get the family, but obviously gets pissed on by this detective. And the detective in the film was just not used well. Like, he only was in like 2-3 scenes, and then he just came in the end with a pistol and a very sorry, I'm that words. But the gun was just terrible in terms of, like, how unrealistic it was. She gets blown up by a pistol and really should be like that right on center, and it just never worked out. And the whole film was just all over the place. Like, from there, like, at one point, like, as I mentioned, you root for the family, and then they have, like, this moment where they're sitting by a fire with, like, deceased remains and stuff. The next thing you know, the dad, Nick Frost, just unalives his own son. And I'm like, you had this whole build-up, but then only 3 of the family survive, except for the son, and you're like, what was the reason for that? Like, and I get, like, it wasn't, like, it was probably like one of those films where it's just meant to be plain stupid. I get that. But if it's like for a certain purpose for a story, as like getaway, as in like trying to get away from an island, if that's what the whole thing was, then it would have been told very differently, and it could have been well written better. Because I thought the choices the characters went through were kind of stupid as well, in my opinion. Like number one, there was one obvious thing, and I felt like they could have just done a whole loophole where one of the people tried to like use a giant sword and impaled the dad. I thought he was gone. No, he's like some kind of superhuman or Superman type of thing in the film. So like whatever he goes through can't be unalived or anything like that. So obviously he survives. And Mother was just like weird, but there is like an odd scene in the film, and I think it was just to like catch some breathing room, which I'm not going to go into detail with, but it was just like unnecessary. There's an unnecessary scene where they're just going to have a moment, like the couple, whilst the daughter and the son are out somewhere. And obviously I'm not going to go into detail because it's very weird, but it was an odd choice to do for a scene, in my opinion. Now, I didn't even find it funny. Like, if it was supposed to be like a joke or a gag, I would have laughed or understood the joke. But it was not a joke, it was just an unnecessary scene. And with this film overall, I thought it was watchable. It wasn't perfect. Nick Frost had some decent funny scenes, like, you know, forgets his wallet, and then but it's in like a bit of a humorous thing where like it's always by cash, because he gets the card out and the guy's like, we only do cash. And so obviously it goes into that type of thing. So yeah, but overall, first review of this year, I think Getaway, 5 out of 10. The reason why I give it 5 is because I thought the setting looked cool. I thought like the choice of what type of island they were doing, like the whole place they were filming, I thought the idea of the place looked good on paper, but I think it was just written very badly, in my opinion. Like there was just some odd choices in the film, which were unnecessary. But I get it if it was like for a joke or a gag. But overall, it was a watchable film. And if you ever want to see me do more of these reviews, be sure to subscribe, turn notifications, and stay tuned for upcoming projects, including the highly anticipated Max film, hopefully coming out this year soon. Filming will be starting around in the middle of next month. So be looking forward to showing some updates and to show a first look of it very soon. And I'll see you in the next video. Danger out.